I don't know how much value I have in this universe, but I do know that I made a few people happier than they would have been without me. And as long as I know that, I'm as rich as I ever need to be.
Hey kid, what time is that?
It's time to refresh.
Hello.
Thought that was me.
Hello. What fucking hell is it that deep?
Back once again with another podcast. This is episode 62 of the podcast, if I'm not mistaken. Probably wrong. I've had a bit of a break off, so you know it's lose track of everything. I think I said on the last couple of episodes, back once again with another podcast, and I said episode 59 for about 3 episodes. so yeah, this is episode 61, I believe. On this one, we've got Phil Rome. How we doing, mate? First time I met you today as well.
No, yeah.
So it's one of them things. We just got chatting away, and I said, "Listen, we're gonna have to not talk about much because it's one of them where it's like, do we talk about that off the pod or on the pod or what?"
Covered everything, haven't we?
Yeah. So I've came down to Warrington, Tango Ice Blast in hand, for the audio listeners. A bit watery, not great.
Still nice though.
Yeah, still nice. So start off with, like I do with everybody, what did you have for tea last night?
What did I have for tea? KFC.
KFC?
Yeah.
What'd you get?
There's a meal deal on for 2 at the minute, isn't there? 2 burgers, 2 hot wings, some chips, and a drink.
Not a bad shout, not a bad shout at all. I had I was at Sanctuary last night and we drove through and got a salt and pepper box meal deal, and it came with like curry sauce, and I was like, proper filled me up.
Yeah, that's right up my street. Salt and pepper's one of my favourites.
Yeah, right. So basically, what we'll do is, like we do with everyone, just go right back to the beginning. So, who's Rome?
Who's Rome?
Yeah. Where are you from originally? Are you from Warrington? Or you like?
Originally from Warrington, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't really step foot out of it, to be honest, unless I'm doing gigs and that. Yeah, I'm quite at home. I like being at home.
Go to and do like a gig somewhere, say fucking Burnley or Wigan or something like that, and you get proper homesick.
Yeah, I feel like I'm on holiday.
Yeah. So what's the crack then? Where did music come into your life first?
Music? I was about 13, 14 when I first asked my mum for some decks. Well, my mum and dad for Christmas.
How come you wanted them? What was the?
I don't even know, because all my friends in school, they were either into football, rugby, and I used to have a mate from London actually, who'd moved down here, and so we used to go around his all the time, and his older brother had some decks, like proper vinyl, Technic 1210s, and he was proper into his jungle and drum bass and stuff like that, so that probably sparked something in me.
Yeah. Well, and was it jungle and drum and bass that you originally were like, caught your ears on?
No, not really. I grew up on like all the Clubland volumes and stuff like that. When I was first exposed to dance music, in a sense. Remember that Special D Come With Me? That's like, one of them up there back in the day. And then obviously all your tunes on your phones and that, like.
So it must have been about 2006 or something.
Yeah, I'd imagine, yeah.
So what was the thing then? Were you allow the deck straight away, or what was the situation? I
think it went on for a couple of years, and then I finally got some at one Christmas, and I was buzzing.
What were they?
I can't even remember, some belt-driven, something from like Argos or something. They were terrible, but they played records, so.
So did you have any did you have a vinyl collection before you got the decks or like that?
No, I probably had 1 or 2 vinyls before I got the decks. I can't remember what they were. No, but there's a record shop at the top of my road, Hot Wax Records.
Right.
That was a pretty big one around here. It used to be in town centre originally, and then, but yeah, what was it now?
I was saying to you there, Warrington, you don't realise how central it is to everything as well. Like when you were talking about gigs and that, you're only like 20 minutes away from everywhere.
Yeah.
Not 20, 25 minutes, whatever. But like you don't realise how. Because it's not really a focal point for bounce music. I know they had medicine and stuff like that, but like you don't realise how central it is to it all. You can go,
that's it, right in between Liverpool, Manchester, and then you've obviously got Wigan just down the road, and then Lee, and yeah.
So when you got your decks and stuff like that, did you have a clue what you were doing, or?
No, not a clue. Couldn't beat match for shit.
Did you know like the structures to tracks and all like that?
No, not really. It was more so when I met Mikey C that he started teaching me on CDJs.
Right.
You know, with like the intros of say like 25 seconds, wasn't it? It was like we'd
Right.
call that a number one, and then it'd be like 50 seconds would be number two. You know, the intro
Right, I see
before
what
the
you
don
mean.
comes in.
Yeah,
But
yeah. So so that's how it came along. It's weird how like when you talk to people how they address the tunes. So like you were saying about like the 25 seconds there. For me, I've always said that's like 16 bars.
Yeah.
And when I said to John, because obviously when I'm producing tunes with John, he says 16 bars. That's a long intro. That because he says a bar's like what I'd call 8 bars. You're saying
Yeah.
like so you'd be like 2 ones for you, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
proper like, so it took me ages to work it out, but I know what you mean. Like 25 seconds is like 16 bars sort of thing. And then
Yeah,
continue.
pretty much straight in, aren't you?
So yeah, that's so you got the hang of that. So if I'm not mistaken, I do my research on people and that. Like so you did some tunes and that with Mike as well.
Yeah.
So how did you meet him then?
Well, I've met him on MSN. Obviously, we used to all talk on MSN, didn't we? Like, but he used to live around the corner from me anyway. He is a bit older than me even. And he was really into his music anyway. I think he was DJing at Tiger 2 at the time and stuff in Warrington.
Yeah.
And he's obviously big on the Wigan Pier stuff and that. There's another club, Big Bar, as well, he used to work at. But yeah, we kind of. How did it go? I don't know. It's a bit of a blur back then.
So what sort of year was this then? Remember?
Year-wise, probably. I was probably about 15 when I met him
Yeah.
properly.
So was he like your first person that you'd met in the industry, would you say then, at that point?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah. And he showed you how intros and shit work and structures of tracks. Is it at this point you started picking it up then on the CDJs?
Yeah, he was teaching me on the CDJs. I'd never really picked it up on turntables.
Yeah.
Like, I could probably do it now if I had some. But
Yeah.
it's moved on from then, haven't we?
It's different times.
I kind of always been behind, just missed stuff.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
So what was the sort of tunes you were mixing when you were learning? Because I've heard loads of different sides to like your styles. Like 1 minute I've heard you go proper like medicine out there, the sort of tunes, and then you'll have to do like a vocal mix, and you'll do like a sort of like not hard style, but you'll do like some harder beat stuff, and it's like you've got like a variation. So what was when you were learning? What was the music?
It was just like your typical Scouse House stuff and that, like EBCD projects and
Oh,
stuff.
so like more
that.
vocally stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So then you're picking it up. What came next? Did you get a gig, or what was the first gig?
First gig as Antidote was probably Peppers in Wrexham when we did Russian Soldiers versus Antidote.
So what was the first like sort of Rome gig? What were you? Was it local or
No.
No. So we'll go into that then if you want. What's the Antidote sort of side of things? Like what brought that along? For me, I think my earliest recollection of you, I'm probably miles out of scope here, but did you just upload videos in like a shed? Does that ring a bell?
Yeah,
On
well,
YouTube.
we used to obviously, between like say 15, 16, before leaving school and then leaving school, we used to always go around my mate's house and we'd obviously stay up from Friday till Sunday, just listen to the same CDs on repeat and drinking and experimenting. It mainly like medicine, Wigan Pier stuff and all that. And then as we all grew up a bit more, we started going around mine with the decks and stuff, and then I was terrible on the decks, but they all encouraged me.
So who was this at this time? Is this you forming the sort of antidote sort of?
Yeah, sort of.
thing?
Well, it was me and my mate from school, MCD, Dave Walker. We used to go around with mates, Westwoods, and then
Right.
they were a bit older than me, so they used to all go medicine anyway.
Right.
You know, between like 16, 17.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't, and then because that didn't open till 12. So,
So after I was
yeah,
clubbing it.
that was 12 till 6 in the morning, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And
Who come up with the antidote name and what antidote is, and like, 'cause obviously you said it was the first gig that you got with Russian Soldiers, but when did antidote start? What was it? And
it was more when I got exposed to medicine. Obviously, the name come about from just like medicine and overdose.
Yeah.
So it was like antidote kind of mixed in because that was what I really liked.
Yeah.
Like obviously I liked all my Scouse House and stuff like that. But then when I heard medicine, it was just completely different.
It took over this area for a while though, that like sound.
160 Spanish
Yeah,
donk,
yeah.
especially Spanish donk. That was like, wow, what's this?
Right. So was that the sort of the ethos of Antidote from the get go? Was it like we like the sound of medicine? Let's sort of incorporate that.
Yeah.
So who was it originally? Like, who was the Antidote original, so to say, when you formed?
Originals was obviously me. It was me, Mikey C, MCD, Focus, Nitro, and Sammy a little bit later on.
Yeah.
But that was the main heads, yeah. So we're just doing volumes in Mikey's at this point.
Yeah.
Probably like 1, 2, 3, and 4 were all in Mikey's, maybe 5 as well. I don't know really what happened to him. Well, I know some of them were terrible.
Have you got them at all? You know?
No. I lost everything at one point because of an hard drive failure.
Yeah.
So that's why everyone always asks me, "Oh, where's the earlier volumes?" I'm like,
so what's the earliest volume you've got, or you know that's out there?
it'd be from 6, won't it? Like 6, yeah,
onwards.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We've only done 10.
Yeah. But so I bet your Mikey's got them.
Yeah, probably somewhere hidden.
So obviously you started doing the Antidote thing, and you're recording the CDs and stuff, and then you did, was it D4 Productions?
Yeah,
yeah.
Well,
So you did,
that was mainly Mikey D4, yeah.
Right.
And then I jumped on probably say one. Just Dance was probably one of the biggest ones we did together. But he
that was like
teaching-
massive at my area by the
Yeah,
way.
he was just teaching me bits then, and then I think he did Rolling It Deep. There's another one. It was mainly Lady Gaga remixes after that one. Wasn't it?
But yeah, you can tell that with that style as well, that it was like vocal but influenced by like the medicine sound and the Spanish and
especially that riff. What was it now?
Class. It was like one of them tunes that sort of like stuck around for a long time as well. Like I reckon if it was made now and that like Just Dance vocal just came out, it'd probably be one of the biggest tunes as well. Like just the timing of everything, it'd be like something like what is it, that Alter Ego tune that's Massive Lights Go Down, like that's just a simple tune as well. It just
I was speaking to him about a year ago or so, and he ended up doing a remaster of it anyway, just the same one, but just he pumped it up a little bit, so I've got an updated version. But yeah, I've played it out and it still goes off now.
Yeah. So you were talking about the Russian Soldiers event there, so how did that come about? What was the situation there?
Obviously I knew we'd had Joe Taylor on Antidote volumes. He was a resident as well at some point. It was just basically a mixture of everyone that went medicine. So like the later volumes 6 and 7 when we did it in Attic Studios, I think it was.
That's the famous Viper Going Sick video, innit?
Yeah, right. That was 7, wasn't it?
Right.
I think it was literally like 2 weeks ago that turned 15 years old.
Jesus.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing that on YouTube, and it was getting absolute bizarre hits at the time. Like everyone was sharing it, and it was like, I can't remember. Who's on the decks? Is it Joe that's on the decks?
It's no, Mikey C's on the decks.
Mikey's on the decks.
Yeah.
And then just the camera like pans around, and Viper's on the mic, and there's loads of heads.
Joe's there having a can of thing, kind of fucking. Well, Red Stripe or something.
Yeah, but like, what was that? So, see, when you were doing these Antidote volumes, was it just like sessions, and it's turned to like, because that just looks like one mad sesh where
it looks like you're in someone's front room, doesn't it? Because there's carpet on the walls and stuff. But it actually was a studio, but because it had this big mirror on the back wall.
Yeah.
And Medicine used to have mirrors on their walls, in the corners and stuff, and it was just like Medicine away from Medicine.
Yeah.
But it was just a banging studio, and we used to just invite everyone down. It was like Berto, Flavor, Roper. Kingy was a resident before us at some point.
Yeah.
Obviously Viper then become a resident as well.
Yeah.
It was just a mixture of everyone that went medicine and just wanted to be involved,
Yeah. So obviously you were saying about the Russian Soldiers event, and so you got pally with Joe and stuff like that. How did that was that was the first event then, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So how did that go down?
we'd all pretty much we was buzzing for our first gig, and it
Yeah.
was in Wrexham, so it was like, it was, where was it now? It was at Peppers
Yeah.
in Wrexham. I was pretty prominent in Joe's time, you know. I think he mentions on his podcast about doing an under 18s and
Yeah,
whatnot.
they're doing the ratings. Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems to be quite a local, legendary venue sort of search. You know what I mean?
But the night before, so we was on a Saturday, but the night before on the Friday, we'd all just got in mine, got on decks and stuff, and we'd gone straight through.
Oh god,
And then,
a bit worse for wear. Then.
yeah, Keno, MC Nitro,
Yeah.
at the time, he had some tanning wipes, and it was just fucking, my mum's tanning wipes.
Yeah.
He just kept doing this. And he's just done it all over his face, but obviously, with daylight coming through, he'd been doing this tanning all night.
So you come by and just
Yeah, he looked like an Oompa Loompa. But, where was it now? We all got on the minibus, had a few drinks, got down there, it was all sound.
So there was loads of you went through, was there? Yeah.
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 Mikey didn't.
Yeah.
But he was on before me, and then it was my first proper gig out, because I'd been on it the night before. When I was taking over for Mikey, I got on, I played my first tune, and I went to mix in my first tune, and I was just like, and I just couldn't physically do it, so I just passed Mikey the headphones back, I went, can't do it, and hid in the back.
Class. That'll be like a mixture of nerves as well, though. Like if it's your first gig, you're obviously nervous, and then obviously, I mean, being on drink the night before doesn't help either. So,
Yeah,
so
obviously,
there's
yeah.
that. But yeah, so what was the attendance like? Was it a decent turnout or?
Yeah, it was banging.
Ah.
I remember turning up and thinking, oh, fucking hell, it's rough in here. Because I think it was, like, what was it, tenner in and unlimited drinks or something.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And as I say, like he's probably gone 160 out with us as well.
Yeah,
like, so
pretty
I can
much.
imagine, yeah.
But we had the guy that used to film it for us, JMTV, was it? JMTV.biz, I think it was. Back then, John. He's no longer with us, actually. I found out about a year or so ago that he died. He wasn't very well. So he used to have, obviously, all the older recordings and stuff. We'd had a head cam on, and he used to have a massive camera back then.
Yeah.
But he filmed all the event, all the minibus ride there. I can still get the video. It's on Facebook somewhere, but
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you where.
You're gonna have to
'Cause it's,
upload that, you know, that would be good there. Get a clip on the podcast and that. But yeah, so off the back of that, I know you sort of like thinged off from being on the decks and stuff, but did it give you the urge to go and do more stuff, or what
Yeah.
came after it?
Obviously, some of the earlier volumes, like 6 and 7, I wasn't on them because I didn't feel confident enough in my mixing abilities, you know.
Yeah,
I just arranged everyone to be on it.
Yeah.
More like the promoter side of things. I think it was when Mikey used to work at Big Bar. I ended up working there as a barman, and he used to let me on after he'd warmed it up, you know, playing the bounce. He used to play, what was it, Funky House and Electro till about 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then it'd be Scouse House and that till about 3.
Right.
So he used to let me jump on for an hour. So I started building up my confidence, you know, with playing out.
Yeah. And obviously
In there.
reading the room and that as well. Like you're not just playing in your bedroom anymore.
That's it. And it's not just a bounce night, it was more just a bar. We used to finish up there at 3 o'clock and then head over to Tiger 2 for the last hour.
Yeah.
And then used to just get hammered in that last hour, you know. Fucking, I think they used to do like 5 EKs for a $5.
Right.
So we used to get like 10 of them.
And you just wrecked then.
Yeah.
And then I assume you probably end up in like places like medicine and stuff like that then.
Yeah.
Afterwards.
But, well, sometimes, yeah. I think, obviously, I can't remember the years, but it was when was it now? It started to shut down, didn't it?
Right.
And they had some trouble. Because remember we did, what was it now? Keno's birthday, I think it was. And we had to move it to Chasers because Medita shut down that night.
Right.
For some reason. Something to do with licensing or something. But Chasers in Earlstown, that was a bit of a mad place as well. But that was really that's probably where I met Downsy, to be honest.
Right.
And then Easy was on one of the nights as well, but I didn't really know him back then.
Everyone crosses paths, don't they? And you just don't realise.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure I've met you before this, but I just can't remember where.
Yeah.
Like,
We probably have.
Probably like cross paths and like just didn't even realise.
Well, it's Sanctuary Night or something somewhere.
Yeah.
Along the lines.
So when you went and done this one, this is it at Chasers and stuff. So did you know everyone there? Like was that an antidote night? And
No, it was a medicine night. Obviously, Kennel's birthday bash. I think it was that.
yeah,
If you remember rightly.
yeah.
But it was just a bit of a mad night. Yeah.
So-
Last minute unplanned things.
Oh yeah, they're always the best ones as well. So sort of moving forward in that, I know we were talking off the pod, and I said about you came up to Workington and that as well during that time. Was
Yeah.
that as antidote, or what was the?
Yeah, that
what
was
the-
an antidote. I think it was one of our first, especially up there.
Yeah.
Chris Pears had booked us, I think it was. Hogs
Yeah.
and Effers.
Right.
Obviously Electric Soup now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Chris's mum and that had a hotel up there.
Right.
Was it? Yeah, we ended up staying in their hotel anyway. I ended up DJing in a vest. I was skinny as hell back then.
Proper 2000.
But yeah, it was a
vibes.
banging night.
Yeah. And then, so what come next for like antidote then in these sort of years before you had your break? What were you doing?
I wasn't doing a lot. Obviously, we were just doing the volumes and stuff.
Yeah.
Everyone had their own things going on as well.
Yeah.
I think we didn't really do nights back then. We just did one in Warrington at Club Wired. It was
Right.
just a one-off night.
Right. And that was the original sort of lineup as well.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So then you were saying off pod as well. You took a break when you met your missus and stuff like that as well. So so you said 2009 was that roughly?
Yeah. So I think there was another nightclub around here, Breeze Bar. They used to do some bounce nights in there.
Right.
And they'd booked Jen one night, and it was basically the first time I'd ever seen her. Like, obviously I knew of her, DJ Angel.
Yeah.
'Cause remember D, he ended up showing me this medicine CD, and it was DJ Angel. I think it was Adrenaline, who she used to play for then.
Right.
I think it was that. And I was like, oh, no way. Like a bird DJing, you know? Like, it was unheard of, wasn't it?
Yeah, I know what you mean. There wasn't many of them
Yeah.
around, especially in bounce. In fact, was there any in bounce at the time? I don't think.
Yeah.
I think so.
So obviously, I can't remember when I met Buckley, but obviously he was from Southport as well.
Yeah.
And then JAZ, remember Gaz?
Oh, he was on medicine CDs.
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah.
So obviously all from medicine again. So I ended up going down Southport, and then ended up playing for Jen's brother. He used to run a night called Generation.
Right.
So yeah, I ended up obviously speaking to her, and ended up inviting her down, and we did some volume, something in my mum and dad's. Can't remember. And yeah, I don't know.
Just got on well then. And
Yeah,
the
pretty much
rest
got
is
on really
history.
well. Yeah.
And then you said you got a flat on that and sort of took a bit of a break away from it. What was it? So like 2009ish. Roughly.
Yeah, 2009 got with her. I think we DJ'd for her brother and that, and did a couple of other bits. But obviously the scene was dying in around that time, wasn't it? Like the attendance was down across the board.
Yeah.
Wigan Pier ended up shutting down, didn't it?
2011, I think it was.
Yeah, so we did that for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And then I'd lost everything on my hard drives.
Yeah.
And didn't have any backups. And that was it, yeah. I was like, I've got no tune, so...
yeah. So then, during this break, obviously you had your kid and stuff like that. If you don't mind me asking, what got you, like, what got the bug again for like the music, or what was it?
Well, obviously, when I had the flat, I lost all of the music. I still had some decks. I had a controller then. And me and Mikey, we'd got really heavy into our guitars and stuff.
Right.
We were smoking weed in the flat, and this was before we had my little baby. So we did that for a couple of years.
Right. So when you say guitars, what were you into?
Red Hot Chili Peppers, Kasabian,
Right.
all
Okay.
that lot.
Yeah. It's like sort of like alternative.
Yeah,
rock sort of thing.
He had obviously an electric guitar, an acoustic.
So can you play like?
Yeah, I can play bits and bobs, play
Yeah.
chords, your bar chords and all that.
Yeah.
But I could play better back then than I can now. I've got a guitar now, but you just got to be at it every day.
Yeah. You get like a feel for it, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But we used to just jam in ours all the time, like every weekend. We'd all come round and it just built up. At one point we thought, right, we're going to start a band. But no, me and Jen had never stopped mixing. We just, because we didn't have any more bounce left, we just started picking up like the Beatport Top 100, with house music as well. So we'd been really driven with the music side. Yeah. But it wasn't always just bounce. It was good.
So then, so when was it that you like sort of came back? Because I can't remember when I first seen you. Like 2000. I might be wrong. About 2017. Is that ringing a bell?
Yeah. So obviously we had my baby in 2014, and then you can't do anything when they're a baby, can you? You can't even leave them.
No.
You don't want to leave them.
Yeah.
But then we started getting a bit of time where we could go out. I think it was one of the first bounce nights we went was a medicine night at Rain in Warrington. Right. Yeah, when it obviously all popped back up again. When was that? Probably like 2016, I'd imagine.
The ones at Rain, I think they had them in 2015 as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I just remember going one of them and bumping into Dino Lamano and stuff. I remember getting a picture. I could see it now. I'm in this little white shirty thing with a fat chubby face.
And then so like you've obviously got back, and then did that give you like the bug again for like I need to get back into this?
Yeah.
Right.
I remember obviously Jen got booked for Clubland Weekender in Southport.
2016.
2017 that one, I think. Yeah. And she was on with Storm, who in the Vic bit. But I remember there was a DJ and an MC competition on as well, and Easy was on that. Yeah. And he ended up winning it, didn't he?
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
But I didn't know him as such then. But like looking back now, how mad that is that,
like cross paths
like me, Jen, and Easy, we're all there that day. That was like one of the biggest things. That was what really gave me the bug back, thinking, bounce is back, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it gives you like the old times feeling sort of thing. Yeah,
definitely.
So then, what were you recording CDs and that again, and then you were just sort of trying to get back into it, or?
Yeah, it was mainly Jen. She got more back into it, and then it dragged me along. I think Petch was about at the time. Do you know?
Yeah. Is it Baseline Bounce?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was at Identity, which used to be Big Bar. Obviously, me and Mike had worked there. I'd worked there as a barman, and it'd come back as Identity. That was why I had a break as well, because all the clubs, they ended up shutting down, didn't they, in the bars, and then...
Just recession, isn't it? That's what it was. No one goes out, so therefore no one's making any money. So, So this Identity's opened up. What were you going to events there, or what were you doing?
Yeah, I was just going to events there. Jen was booked more, and then Pet started booking me. So it pretty much snowballed from there.
Yeah. So when you came back, obviously, was it the Baseline Bounce nights they were booked for?
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Then? Yeah, I'd imagine so. Like, it's a bit of a blur.
Yeah.
It was kind of getting all over, to be fair. Sorry, I just got some notes.
Yeah, I'd rather you just if the stuff that you forgot to say about when you're there. Basically, that's when I think I heard of you. Then like, this guy's DJ and blah blah blah, and then I seen you were like getting on a couple of different events and stuff like that. So was it good to get out and about again?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I think it took off more when we did come back, than because obviously we've got the history of Antidote and the bits that we have done, Adrenaline, and just the people you knew, wasn't it, and people you was in contact with then.
Yeah. So when you came back, did it like? Obviously, you're starting to meet all these new faces in the scene. Because you were saying there, you never really like were mates with Easy, for instance, or anyone like that. So how did you end up getting pals with him then?
I don't even know. I just it's a bit of a mad one. I think it was Dose Donk. I I ended up doing a volume for them because Mikey did one.
Yeah.
I ended up filling in for someone on one of them. I can't remember which volume it was, but it wasn't major or anything.
Yeah.
I don't even think I knew him then. I knew Webby and Twister more than
Yeah.
I did Easy. But it was more so when we was having like parties in mine and stuff.
Oh, and you just sort of got Pally there, sort of thing.
Yeah, he ended up coming round one night and then
Yeah.
obviously spitting on CD for us, and we was doing the live streams, wasn't we? When was this? Probably going about like 5 or 6 years now.
Yeah.
So what? Yeah, can't really remember. All
But
a bit blur.
as I say, you've got like this whole new sort of Antidote crew together now. So you've got obviously there's you and Angel, and then there's who was on the lineups? Let me think now. Was it so? There'll be Easy. Carl joined you as well.
Yeah.
You can't forget fucking Glover as well. Glover's
Glover,
Yeah.
Groove Control, Phil Bin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you don't mind me asking, how do you meet Glover?
Glover.
Because he's like he's a random one. I randomly met him like sort of I think like 2015. He was just getting to bounce and stuff like that. So I obviously wasn't around the first time you were around.
Yeah.
So
knew
yeah, I
he was a bit-
imagine because he had something to do with medicine, he was probably
Yeah, a bit of a fanboy.
in a nutshell. Sorry, Glover, mate.
Yeah, I'm just terrible with my memory, me.
Yeah,
So I can't really say when I met him. But again, I think it was just having parties in ours, and he ended up coming round with someone, Philbin probably,
yeah.
maybe. Yeah, I'd imagine it was through him. Yeah.
So who's the sort of residents now for you? I named off a couple there, but I probably missed a few over.
Okay, I'm gonna miss some. There's me, Jen,
Yeah,
Groove Control, Philbin,
yeah,
Cal,
yeah.
Glover, Easy Downsy, Bellis, DOT. Who is it? I'm shit.
No, don't worry about it, mate. Honestly, it's
Oh, Jonesy.
yeah. So you obviously got this little thing together. What was the process of sort of getting them on as like sort of residents? What was there's obviously like a benchmark of why you would want them sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
when you were putting the crew together, what was the ethics behind that then?
It's more so like, obviously I loved Groove Control from Medicine days.
Yeah.
And then with the Philbin as well, like, it was like the pick and load, wasn't it?
At
So I
the
liked
time,
both of them anyway.
Yeah.
And I was just really good pals with Philbin. I knew Phil a bit, but I just really wanted him as a resident.
Yeah.
And then, like, obviously Easy, Downsy, we're obviously from Millstown.
Yeah.
They were just all like mates from over the years, and DOT, obviously, not forgetting him. He was an original, like he was on the original volumes, so he's probably one of the only originals that was still up for doing it.
Yeah.
You know, like we've lost D and Nitro and Focus. We've got Focus back on one at nights in where was it? FC2.
Right. Oh, yeah. I can
Yeah.
remember that night. Yeah, yeah. See, for me, right, I remember seeing DOT's name on Medicine. I'm sure it was it Medicine Packs, if I'm mistaken. Right, and I never really, not that I didn't pay attention, but he didn't really capture my thing.
Yeah.
And then in the last, like, sort of couple of years, I don't know if he's done a comeback or what, but, like, he's fucking good, isn't he?
Yeah, he's
Like,
really good.
Yeah, like,
I always said, even in Medicine days, like it was you have to be there and see him doing it.
yeah.
You know, rather than listen to him on a CD, because
Yeah.
you'd be like, what's he saying? And his style's just very weird, isn't like
Yeah.
not weird, but
No, I can see where
Right.
you're coming from. But like now, though, I think I listened to that Cyphers thing that he done, and I was just like, I don't know if he's pronunciating his words more clearly or what, but like his flow's just really good. Like I was genuinely,
Yeah.
it's one of the MCs where I've been like sort of like, wow, it's decent. Like,
yeah.
in recent years anyways, and so it's like a good member to have on your team, isn't it? So when you're like sort of coming together to do nights and stuff like that between all of you, are you all like generating ideas of what to do, and is it like a big team effort, or is it? Because I've always thought that when I see you put like I know you put stupid videos and that online of like when you're camping out in a tent or you fucking got your asshole in the air or something like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, it comes across as if it's a big team effort. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just mainly like there's me, Easy, Cal. Obviously, we'll spitball a lot of ideas. Everyone else will get involved a bit, but we have a group, but no one like. Apart from like the core group, it really just comes around mine for a brew.
Yeah.
And then we'll spitball ideas and stuff. A lot of it would come from like lockdown and stuff like that, where we were just messing about all day, every day and stuff.
Yeah.
Killing time.
Right, so sort of moving forward with this then, it was like, I think if I'm not mistaken, was it, you got Sopranos residency, was that in, I'm really bad with things, was it 2020, 2019?
Yeah,
Something
probably
along those
2019-20.
Right, yeah. Right, so when you got that one, that's when I seen you started putting like, you were doing like, this is when I noticed your little videos like that you were putting online.
Yeah.
And then obviously lockdown hit, was maybe just bad timing for you or what, I don't know.
Oh, really bad timing.
So like you got the antidote thing and the Sopranos thing going on. And then I remember seeing that video that you and Easy put up the first night back after lockdown.
Oh yeah, the return event, was it?
Yeah. Is it Honey I'm Home, that video?
Yeah.
Yeah. So and I talked with Easy about it on his podcast. He says during lockdown, you were doing sort of like all sorts of small ideas and stuff like that. And that Yeet thing came along. It was just like you guys were there one day having a crack and you was like showing each other tunes and whatnot. And then that came along. And all these different things. So you got when the clubs did open back up, you had all these new tunes that you could sort of test out and play and stuff like that. So yeah, so lockdown for you. I mean, there was a few antics in lockdown that I've seen. Didn't you like run away from the police or something like that?
Yeah, that was on the kitchen sessions. That.
Yeah.
But yeah, we went a bit mental because obviously I was doing the Antidote nights at FC2.
Yeah.
So we did a Halloween one, and then the next one coming up was Viper's birthday bash, and that was looking like one of our busiest nights. Like,
so when was that due for? Do you know? So it was March 20. We went into lockdown. So
yeah, I remember it because that lockdown night was the Friday, wasn't it? When lockdown come in.
Yeah.
That was the night that we were supposed to have that night
Right.
on that Friday as well. So it come about 6 o'clock at night. Obviously, we was about to open doors at 9. We was all in ours having pre-drinks and stuff.
Yeah.
And then they announced the lockdown. So then the club wouldn't let us do it. They said we could do it, but only till 12 o'clock. So we could open at 10 till 12, and I was like, I'm not doing 2 hours.
2 hours, that's pathetic, isn't it?
So yeah, I basically turned my phone off and just got absolutely smashed. And tried to forget about it.
Yeah, it's sad, isn't it? But like, you I remember that you did the Halloween one, and it sort of built like a base following for you again. Do you know what I mean? Like, with regards to the antidote sort of thing, you've got like that core little following of members who go to all the nights. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is that the one there?
That was it, yeah.
Yeah. So, when you did that night, was that like, right, well, we're going to sort of run this as a sort of club event then? Was that the idea behind it after that?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. I didn't want to do I don't want to milk it, do you know what I mean? I'd just rather do it when it feels special.
Yeah.
Like just the odd random nights.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to get a momentum of doing everyone every like 3 months or so, but...
That's the thing. It's like when you see certain nights and they do say like a reunion or something like that, you'll see members who don't go out anymore just come out because it's a special occasion.
Yeah.
But then if you do the reunion part 2 the month after, it's just like, you know, you don't want to be doing this. There is brands out there who do that, but that's beside the point. But that you'll notice that they're not great on numbers. Whereas if you try and make it feel like a special event or a spectacle, you'll get all the new heads on it who's going to every sort of bounce night going, and then you'll get like your original members because they know that you treat it special, and that's what it's all about, innit? So when lockdown hit, you were a bit gutted you lost the Vipers birthday bash night.
Yeah.
But what was your thought process during lockdown? Then were you just planning forward, or were you just happy because of the break, or what was it?
Yeah, we looked forward. Like, I was happy for the break, in a sense. Yeah, we kind of went off the rails a bit though, because obviously no one else was partying. Like, we had nowhere to go, and we was used to just partying every weekend anyway. With gigs.
Yeah.
So we just jumped from party to party. I remember being in Downses one night. The police turned up there. They knocked on the door. I think who was having a Mecca's was having a piss in garden. Or was it Easy? Oh, one of them anyway. And the copper knocked on the gate, and he was like, "Oh, fuck off, Mecca's, mate." Go to the copper.
Yeah.
But yeah, they ended up kicking us out of there. Didn't give us a fine or anything.
That's all right then. It sound.
And then what was it? Kitchen sessions. We did 2 of them because the first one got locked down.
Yeah.
The first one, I think, was when the police turned up.
Yeah.
I think so.
So what had happened there? Then you started recording the CD and videoing and stuff like that, and then the cops have turned up halfway through.
Yeah, pretty much that. Yeah.
I hope you caught that on fucking camera.
I've got a video somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, camera. One of the coppers were knocking out mics over everywhere, and that, just bumping into him.
Yeah.
But I had my bag in that, and a lot of people had already ran off, but they locked the front door, and I noticed the back door was still open, and then they started talking about these fines and that, and I was like, let me just get my bag, and started running off, and this copper started chasing me. It was when was it? I was like, it was winter, so it was freezing outside. There was these cobbles straight outside the door.
Yeah.
Run out, I slid on these cobbles, on my side. But I got away.
That's all right then.
Yeah.
And then obviously through lockdown, you went and done. There was the second one as well, Kitchen Sessions 2, which was a bit more organised, and you were allowed out. I can't remember what the regulation was at the time, but like you were allowed to go out for that anyways.
Yeah. We ended up actually being able to do it.
Yeah.
Finishing it.
Yeah. So then, obviously, I remember the dates and that it came along for. All clubs are opening back up on this day, and then it was like, no, they're opening back up on this day, like extending it, and then it was like, oh, just sit down. Anyone who's got like food and shit like that. It's like it wasn't really the real vibe for a club events like ours. And then eventually everything opened back up, and that's when the Honey M Home thing with the Yeet tune and that.
Yeah, Soprano's return, wasn't it?
How was that for you?
That was sick, because obviously Restricted was on around the same night, wasn't it? Same day even.
Right.
Funnily enough, it's just been on this weekend, hasn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, Restricted was on, so everyone's gone mad there, and then they've all come to Sops after it. I think it was that, yeah. Because the crowd was just electric, buzzing for it. They were all up for it straight away. I think, what was I on? About 11 till 12, I think.
Right.
Quite early for Sops. But yeah, playing Yeet first, it was a hardcore tune, wasn't it?
Yeah.
A 160 or something.
Right.
But
did it go down well, I see, on the video anyways? Yeah.
It went off. And obviously just being on with Easy and the MDMC, it was just unreal.
Yeah. Good combo them as well. They sort of bounce off each other pretty well, so it probably makes your job easier as a DJ, especially if you're playing like big powerful tunes like that.
That's why I really get on with Duffy as well. So he's obviously early slightly adrenaline volumes with Arky and Duffy, back to back. Yeah. So it just felt right for Duffy to be a resident for us as well.
Good lad, I like him. Got a lot of time for him. He's coming on the podcast at some point. We just need to sort it out.
Yeah.
Just getting the right time and place and all that. But yeah, so sort of going forward from there, we're going to sort of like 2021, 2022. What were you on with then? Because I've seen, obviously, I didn't know. I'd never talked to you up until that point, but I seen you were doing bits and bobs, and I seen Angel was busy, and there was all these like gigs and everything going. Everyone was buzzing, everything was back.
Yeah.
And then I didn't even know Callan at that point, but you organised an antidote here. Well, by the way, we're in the Brass Monkey today, just in case I didn't say at the beginning. Yeah. We're not just in a random sort of gaff. This is we're in the Brass Monkey recording. But yeah, so then you organised the one in here, and it was very different because obviously Warrington's not. Madison's long gone and stuff like that. So did you feel like you were taking a risk when you were putting it on here? And
oh yeah, definitely, because it's just a lot bigger in here as well than FC2 was.
Yeah,
like I really liked FC2, but I just wanted something new. I seen this place and it was brand new at the time, and I thought, if we don't try then, you know. But it was when was it? Saturday, it's 3rd of September, which is mine and Jen's anniversary.
Yeah. What an anniversary!
Yeah, let's have an anniversary party. Sorry, love.
Great. Oh, by the way, we're there's like loads of donkheads coming and that as well.
Yeah.
But and and I forgot in between as well. You did was it Antidote versus somebody at Pure? Was it? Did you do that as well?
Oh yeah. And when was it? We've done obviously the Antidote all day. Antidote Infliction and Fat Goose.
Oh yeah.
So obviously Langy for Infliction and then Grimmy for Fat Goose. We all got together and we did one.
I think the Antidote and the Fat Goose combinations are sweet.
Yeah, we've been wanting to work with them for a while. Like,
you've got some similar styles, but yet completely different.
Yeah.
With regards to you don't sound like anything like each other, but at the same time you can see how you sort of bounce off each other.
Yeah.
Really rate them Fat Goose lads as well. I only recently discovered them, which I kind of feel bad for because I heard that what's he called? Is it Jid? I heard him and I was like, decent. Like. But how was that anyways? How was the Fat Goose?
Yeah, it was mint. That was probably one of our because we're obviously 3 smaller brands, aren't we, than the big ones. But all 3 of us coming together and doing that at Pure. We did it at IB for bar as well, in the day, and then moved on to Pure at the night time. But we had some good numbers throughout, steady numbers,
Yeah, so as you say, for 3 smaller brands and that as well, it's Pure is a hard nut to crack if you haven't got that big following. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. It's risky,
You bet you go for a few nervous poos when you try and put your
loads.
I'm the same. But so obviously you did that, and was that a good turnout on that, and good sets and top night? Yeah,
we had a lot of good feedback from it.
Yeah,
people saying it's one of the best events they've been to that year.
So that's nice. That's never always nice to hear, isn't it? Yeah. If it's to that level sort of thing. Did that give you the little urge to do some more then? Is that why you did? So you organised a September event. What did you say, September? September event, and that was in here. Did you feel like, as I say, you were taking a risk coming to Warrington then? Because obviously I know a lot of the lads who come to your events, they're from Warrington.
Yeah.
So I know it seems easy, but there is the scene's not, as I said, not what it was.
Oh yeah, because when we used to do big bar bounce nights there, and when it was Identity as well, we had to wear stuff that you'd wear in town, jeans, and it never works, does it, at a bounce night?
No, I know what you mean.
Like having a dress code to adhere to.
Yeah.
So when I got here, well, I think we'd have shorts and stuff in FC2, but I just wanted a bigger venue, and these would let us have shorts and stuff. Right. So I was like, right, buzzing. I've brought shorts and bounced back to Warrington.
But yeah, so in here it's nice setup, nice and decent sized place. Were you twitching beforehand? So what do you do? Do you just do it on the door? Do you do Skiddle tickets and that as well?
Yeah, I do Skiddle tickets.
So was it looking good beforehand, or were you nervous at all?
No, I was nervous, very nervous. Skiddle wasn't doing that great, but a lot of people saying, pay on the night, pay on the door.
Yeah.
But I ended up having a card machine as well.
Nice.
And that done quite well, to be fair,
It's not bad, is it? So then you were saying there, function 1 sound system, the deck set up on the stage.
Yeah.
It probably looked pretty sick in here at the time, I imagine. Yeah.
We was missing, what was it? We had a few niggles at the start. She was missing a smoke machine. Yeah. So Jen had to shoot to ours to get our smoke machine and then bring it back. It was just this little
teething problems.
Yeah, not the best. And then we had obviously a list of stuff we wanted, and so lasers was on there, and we didn't have the lasers. Yeah. So we ended up just sorting it with the venue, and eventually they saved us a bit of money for not having the stuff that we did have. A bit of problems with the projector. We could only get it in white, so we ended up the didn't look great. You know, the logo.
Yeah.
It's just.
I know what you mean, yeah. But as I say, it's a nice little place to call home in here. I think it's a decent venue, and if you haven't been, then get yourselves along to an Antidote. There you go, a little bit of plug for you, because it actually is a really nice venue, and it's a bit different, it's a bit quirky, and that with, as I say, all the stuff that's in here. Like behind the camera right now, there's a random swing. I imagine it's just for photos, but it's random. Nonetheless, but
It's the sex swing.
yeah, definitely. So yeah, sort of what have you got sort of in the pipeline then? Is there anything you can let us know? Bear in mind this comes out a week on Monday, so
What, for me personally, or just Antidote in general?
Well, both. So what's 2023 looking like for you going forward? Because you said you had yourself a little break there, didn't you? Just gone. So sort of, are you feeling refreshed and sort of revitalised to go again?
Yeah, feeling a bit refreshed now. Like, what was it? When was it? Obviously, I had a break. I started a break at the back end of last year, around October. My head was going because I'd just been smoking weed every day in lockdown, and then I said I was going to quit after lockdown, and then obviously we did the return event, and then just carried it on throughout the year, you know.
Yeah.
And then it was just getting worse and worse. And then October was it? We'd lost a mate.
Yeah, we were talking about this
Drew,
on pod.
yeah. And that really knocked a nail on the head, you know. Just I need to sort my head out and, you know, get back on track.
Yeah.
I need to stop drinking as much and partying as much.
Yeah.
I just, you know, want to be there for my family more and all my friends as well.
Yeah.
Especially seeing how much that affected, like, Bellis and Josh and Easy and stuff.
Yeah, well, as I say, like when I remember when it all came up and stuff like that, and I'd been talking to Easy and that about it, and it's like you don't realise the impact stuff like this has on people, like, and yous have handled it really well. Like I've seen some of the pictures that like Josh had been putting up about he's going to the gym and stuff like that, and he's like, it's like as I say, you're looking better in yourself.
I'd never stepped foot in a gym in 32 years of my life. You know? I've struggled with anxiety a lot.
Yeah.
Like just in general public anxiety. Like I don't really like going places, but like it's mad because I can go and play in front of 1,000 people. You know, no problem.
Yeah.
Or I used to be able to.
Yeah.
Like I'd probably be a bit nervous now.
Yeah.
Because I've had a break for so long.
Because you don't need to actually like talk to them, isn't it? That's what it is.
Yeah,
It's
pretty
like,
much.
I
I'm
find
just
that-
doing what comes natural with playing music, and it's just.
Yeah.
I feel weird if I'm not playing people music and saying, "Oh, listen to this." Like, it's just, it's a very easy intro, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like to a conversation.
I think that's how everyone sort of gets on in the scene. Like as I say, when I'm recording podcasts, sometimes I've never met people, but because you know they're interested in the same thing, it's really easy to get along with people. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, you were saying about obviously losing your mate and stuff like that. We were saying off the pod, it's good for people to talk, and for like you don't realise that people are struggling even when you're like your closest of friends and stuff like that. So I think a lot of people, we were saying as well off the pod, that people are scared to talk out and like speak to their mates and speak up, and like because it's like a lot of men see it as like sort of what's the word like demasculising themselves, and it's like, oh, I don't talk about it, I just lock it up.
But yeah, if you're not going to talk about it, then who is? And then like you're just going to.
Yeah,
So we shouldn't isolate ourselves from it. Do you know what I mean? Mental health's a massive thing, especially in like our scene, not our scene, but just music scenes in general. Because obviously you have got a lot of like drugs and especially like a lot of artists, because they're out weekly and stuff like that. It can, take a toll, can it? If you're on substances, like even drinking.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, though, you don't realise that there's a lot of people who do this as their day job, right?
Yeah.
And it's not a normal lifestyle to have. It's quite like nocturnal. You'd maybe not see a lot of the amount of I'll be honest with you, the amount of family occasions I've missed out on because of gigs. And I think I can speak for most DJs who's active as well. Like, you don't realise. Like, I remember going to like a birthday party and having to nip away at like sort of 8, 9 o'clock, not being able to have a drink with family and friends because got a gig on or whatever.
Yeah.
That's down to me doing it, but then if you don't take gigs and you don't get booked, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's one of them things. It's like you've just got to live with it. But then there's people that it's their life, it's their livelihood, and it can probably get you down sometimes, like mentally, because like they don't know any other way. They don't have that like normal 9 to 5 routine where some people sort of, that's how people stay level-headed.
Yeah,
So like when
definitely.
your head falls off sometimes, but you're only going out and talking to people on a
Yeah.
Friday and Saturday night, and you're sort of hermited through the week. And like I say, sometimes some people that when they're not out and they haven't had a drink or whatever, they sort of shell of themselves because they haven't got that confidence boost of having a drink
Yeah,
behind them and
definitely.
stuff like that.
It's like, obviously, you get nervous before a set. I do anyway.
Yeah.
Like, so,
I think everybody does as well.
yeah. I think obviously the nerves is good because it shows that you've got a bit of a passion and you care about it. If you're going to turn up and just go, I'm not ask me,
Yeah.
then that's like,
That's what it is, isn't it?
yeah. So you have a few drinks to kill the nerves, don't you?
Yeah.
And then it's just hard to say no sometimes because you don't want to come across as boring, do you?
Yeah, yeah.
And like, oh, why is he not drinking tonight? Or why
Yeah.
is he not getting on it with us?
Oh yeah, yeah, you've been funny, you're doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, what it is, what it is.
But, yeah, I think as you get older, you really do learn to say no, don't you?
Yeah.
So, like, them occasions and that.
Yeah, but as I say, at the same time as well, you feel like you're having fun and that at the time, and
Yeah.
you don't realise if you do this every weekend, it's going to be a short life for you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Like
And
the amount of times I've had a drink, just a drink, and then I feel you feel like it's proper skimmed like 5 days off your life just
Yeah.
because you're just like proper like
And it
frail.
comes Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah.
Like, I used to be terrible for it because I'd have a drink and that, and then come Sunday, I don't feel that bad.
Yeah.
It hits me on a Monday and Tuesday the worst.
Yeah.
Monday, I'd probably not turn into work. So then
That's
you'd
it,
probably
isn't it?
lose a job here and there because you don't come in on Mondays.
Yeah.
And then by Wednesday, Thursday, you started perking up and you go, oh, I could do it again this weekend.
Yeah,
And then
it's a
same
cycle as well.
cycle.
You don't realise you're in it as well until you sort of stop and reevaluate it. I just want to ask you a couple of questions as well, like I do with every guest. It's just so people get to know you on a more personal level, and we can sort of gauge here and there about everything. So this is what I call throwback attack. So basically, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. Don't think about it. Just first thing that comes to your head, and you just let me know. So what do you think of when I say this, that, or the other? So what do you think of when you think of primary school? Like what song?
Primary school?
Yeah. Anything?
Anything?
Yeah.
I don't even know. Primary school?
Yeah.
God.
Probably something cheesy because you went to the bounce and that at the back then. So.
No. I can't even think, mate. Don't even know. No, I just
No.
nothing.
So okay then, what song do you think of when you think of secondary school? What is the one that sticks out to you? It's bound to be a party tune of
Oh, it'd be like Outcast or something, won't it?
Outcast. Is that the
Yeah,
sort
probably
of
going back to primary school. Actually, I remember my mates did a play, and they were doing what was it? Eminem, Purple Hills. You know,
Right.
a PA to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was in primary school.
There you go.
And then
that's it.
obviously later on, I think it was like Outcast and stuff on it.
Yeah.
Hey,
Right, class. So, what song do you think of when you first think of getting your first set of decks? So, what was the tune you were playing that sticks out in your mind?
Probably I See the Light for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put that tune to you, sort of thing.
No,
really,
no.
but
Yeah,
just-
no,
I
really.
suppose it's iconic, isn't it? Really.
It's more like Maxines and that, wasn't it?
Yeah. What song do you think of when you think back to your early days of going out? So when you were going out for the first time, what's the tunes that stick out in your head?
Probably like Medicine was that Beat Tripper Hooked.
Oh, tune.
Yeah. Obviously, we knew Royal Flush was the one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I always swayed more towards Hooked.
Right.
I preferred that.
It's a good tune. It doesn't get played enough as well in
No,
comparison.
definitely
Yeah. Class tune.
Just hate the rip that goes around, with a slow start.
Yeah. I'd say it's a vinyl edit, isn't it? Where they're just like other thing, yeah. What song do you think of when you think of your golden era?
The golden era.
Yeah.
Oh, Woody, get into it. Like, that's
obviously,
just prominent in it.
Yeah, it's prominent in the antidote thing as well, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
like it is the antidote anthem, so to say. And what song do you think of when I say right here, right now, today? What is the tune of the minute for you?
Tune at the minute. I like a lot of Darren Styles stuff at the minute. Like hardcore stuff, like the 160 stuff.
Yeah.
I never really...
It's like hard dance meets hardcore.
Yeah, I think it was Sop's 8th birthday was when I first was exposed to what was it? Darren Styles. Gamma was on at the time.
yeah.
Jem was playing that night as well at the 8th birthday. Gamma was on, and I remember it was just playing it fast, and he played Darren Styles' Switch, and that obviously the birthday is dead special to me because my birthday's on 27th of November.
Yeah.
And they normally do it around the 25th, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
So they do it that weekend, so I always used to go Sops on my birthday. I'm going to have that fucking 8. Probably did that for about 4 years or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, that
Switch was like that was another like there was not one like it beforehand. Do you know what I mean? I know essentially it's a dream.
Obviously, I like my guitar stuff and that, didn't I? So
Yeah.
it's like that riff was, what was it now? Din, din,
Yeah.
din, din,
It's
din,
DJ
din,
Panda, isn't it?
din.
It's a dream.
Yeah.
But I know it's essentially a remix of an old tune, but the style it was laid out in with that drop and then the fake drop and then it's
And then
just
that switch.
class. Yeah,
And then
just
it's
class.
like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Class. It is quite a definitive tune for what it is, and I think it done really well as well, surprisingly.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do right now is, mate, we're just going to tie today up if that's okay. I don't know if you watched any other episodes, but let's just say you're going to get the electric chair because you've been session too much and that's it. You've just sent you to electric chair.
Yeah.
You get one final meal. You get a starter, a main, dessert, and a beverage. What are you having?
It's got to be a Sunday roast, like.
Sunday roast.
Yeah,
What
Sunday
meat?
roast.
What meat?
Chicken.
Chicken.
Yeah, chicken. I have turkey as well. It's a bit dry though, isn't it?
I like turkey.
Yeah.
On a bit of Christmas.
Turkey
sauce,
and
that's
chicken,
special.
why not? It's your last
Yeah.
meal, isn't it?
Go for it, yeah.
I'll have both.
What's essential on a roast for you?
Turkey, chicken, your veg, mixed veg, so carrots, like broccoli, cauliflower cheese, I like that.
Yeah, that's an essential for
Obviously
me. that.
mash.
Yeah.
Not really, Yorkshire puddings, obviously. I think that's about it, isn't it?
And then what you're gonna have for a starter? You having a starter? Are you a big foodie?
Yeah, yeah, I'm now. Now it's a gym. That's all I think about is food.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to have like one meal a day.
So go on then. What you having as a starter then?
Starter probably just humble tomato soup with a bread and butter.
Right. Okay.
Like just-
and dessert? What you having?
Cheesecake.
Cheesecake. Not bad. Not bad.
Anything will do.
Anything.
Yeah.
And to wash it down, I assume it's going to be a
A beverage, yeah, an absolute
Tango Ice Blast.
biggest Tango Ice Blast you've ever seen.
It's not a bad choice. For my roast dinners, I've been banging to lately creamed leek. I like that. I like creamy leeks in it and roasted parsnips in honey. Oh my god! Like
Yeah.
I'm feeling starving.
I've been a
thinking
fan
about
of roasted parsnips. I think they stink.
it. They do stink, but they taste lovely.
They just stink.
Yeah. I just want to say thanks for coming on today, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah,
And honestly,
my pleasure as well.
It's been good. It's good to get your story out there as well.
Yeah.
It's like I like documenting everyone's stories because one day we'll all be fucking old and frail.
Yeah, we've probably glossed over a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I'll listen back to this and be like, I should have said this, should have said that. So you have to get us back.
You're
at
always
some point.
welcome for a part two, mate, as well. And I did mention, I know I'm just saying this on the podcast, so whether this materialises or not, I don't know, but I'll try and do my best to make it for it. It's to do, I mentioned with Easy doing an antidote special, just maybe even come down here, a few mics set up around the table.
Yeah,
and
get
just
everyone involved.
Everyone in, and then you can tell
Yeah.
a story and they can go, that's bullshit. And then
Yeah,
they
yeah.
can tell a story, you can go, that's bullshit. And then
They can also remind me of
times and
when I
places
met them and
things.
stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
I remember
yeah.
obviously, I didn't even say this just, but it was Antidote 9 was when we did it at Pirate Studio. Do you know when Pirate Studio first come about?
Yeah.
I remember when it first opened, I seen it, and I was like, oh, that looks sick. You know, like the general idea of all getting in there.
Yeah.
And when we turned up, it was still like a building site. We'd end up getting loads of vouchers, you know, to do it for free.
Yeah.
So I ended up booking it for about 6 hours, like the
Right.
whole day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's probably one of the times I met Easy and we had Downsy and everyone.
Was that when you first started getting on as mates then? Sort
Yeah,
of thing?
pretty much, yeah. And
Right,
obviously we had Viper back as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just mint. I
Class.
can't remember when that was.
Antidote 9.
Yeah.
Am I going to say like 2017, 2018? Would that be about right?
Probably. Let me have a check. Let's get this down. I'll kill myself if I don't
We'll get
check the
it on
dates.
here.
Look, 15 years ago, Antidote 7.
Yeah.
5 years ago.
5 years ago. Was that
So
right?
yeah, 2018.
2018, yeah. So, and since then you've you've got your residence and that, isn't it? And that's how it sort of came about.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll be seeing Antidote going forward as well. There'll be more events and stuff like that more in the future.
Yeah,
Nothing
definitely
penciled in at the minute though?
Nothing penciled in at the minute.
Okay.
No, still having my break. Funnily enough, I come back in August. I've got Rock the Park Music Festival in
Yeah.
Wrexham. That's a bit of a mad one because my first gig was in Wrexham and now like
You're back,
it's like
it's
I'm
full
back.
circle.
Yeah, I love them lot down there.
Yeah.
They're a crazy bunch.
Yeah.
So that's Friday the 4th of August, was it? Sorry.
Yeah.
And then the day after, I've got Instinct presents Blackout at Hidden. in
Oh yeah,
Burnley.
yeah. That Hidden looks like a decent little club. That.
Yeah.
Looks real good.
So that's Friday the 4th, Rock the Park, Instinct on the 5th.
Nice way to come back to gigs in the weekend and to completely polar opposite gigs of what the styles will probably be as well, I imagine. But yeah, I just want to say thank you for coming on, mate. If you've enjoyed the episode, then please share it with your mates. This is a podcast that's predominantly for the music scene and music lovers. So all I want to say is thank you for watching if you made it this far in, and I hope you're as passionate as we are about the music, and hopefully see you again next week. Thank you. See you later. Nice one.
Ciao.